Hey everybody, welcome back to our neck of the woods. I don't think I've ever made a rant video before, but I got something that I want to get off my chest and I want to hear what you guys think about it. So I'm in the process of looking for a new truck. I think I'm gonna buy one here shortly. Unfortunately, now that Aaron and I both have a track car, I wanna be able to go to the track here and I wanna be able to tow both of them. And unfortunately, only having the 6'4" Hemi here in the 2500, it only has a max towing capacity of around 14,000 pounds. And if we get a trailer that's a 2-car trailer, the weight of that alone, plus those 2 cars, we're pretty much gonna be over what this thing can do. So a 2500 with a gasoline engine is just unfortunately not going to work for us. Now, I thought about getting a new truck. Unfortunately, the prices and what this rant is basically having to do is just with all of the inflation and what has been going on basically within the car industry. If you guys haven't been paying attention, the car industry, all 3 major manufacturers, so Ford, Chrysler, and GM, all the employees are basically going on strike. They want more money, and I don't blame them. Inflation is at an all-time high. Everything has been costing more and more. And then you've got like the CEO of GM. I think she either made $30 million last year or she got a 40% increase in her salary from bonuses and stuff. And her bonus was $30 million. But either way, she's making like $30 million more. And of course, that's pissing off all of the manufacturer employees because they didn't get a 40% raise. So again, I don't blame them for wanting a raise if the CEO basically gets a raise. But the craziness that I have found is if I wanted to get a brand new 2500, and let's say we stuck with the 6'4" Hemi, one thing that we can do is we can change out the rear end with instead of going with the 3.7 rear end, we can upgrade to the 410. And that goes from basically 14,000 pounds up to about 17,000 pounds. But unfortunately, a 410 with a gas engine, the RPMs are gonna be so high because of the increase in torque and stuff that we're getting from the bigger rear end. This thing basically is just gonna die on gas mileage. And when you're towing heavy with a gasoline engine, your miles per gallon is already basically gonna plummet anyway. So I didn't think gasoline was the way to go because 1, this thing just can't tow enough. And 2, the 410, I cannot find one used. And to have one brand new built from Ram, the prices are just absolutely insane. We've already talked about how inflation is going up and it's insane right now. If you look at window stickers on a 2500, on an 18, 19, 20, and 21, all of them have the exact same base price before you add anything on. They're all $40,000. That's insane. Again, that's 18, 19, 20, and 21. 4 years of the same generation of truck, the base price did not move. But if you look at the 22s, which of course are used now, so those prices are elevated even on the used market, but the 22 base price jumped all the way up to $46,000. $6,000 more for the same damn truck. Basically, nothing changed at all. Then the 23s came out. If you look at the build dates, the 23 builds that were built at the end of 22, but still got designated the 23 year, they jumped up to over another $6,000. And then the 23s built in the beginning of 23 jumped up another $1,000. And the 23s that are being built right now, if you look at one that just hit a dealer showroom, they jumped up another $1,000. So you're looking at the 23s right now with no change except maybe an LED light on the side mirror there, are now $14,000 more than my truck's base price. And this is a 2021. $14,000 more for the same truck before you add any of the options on. And then when I noticed some early 23s and some late 23 build dates, every single option is more expensive also. The same engine is more money, the same packages are more money, so you're looking at over $15,000 probably for the same damn truck in 22, early 23, and even in 21, and we're paying that inflation price. So what's gonna ruffle some feathers here and blow my mind is if the auto manufacturers want a 40% increase in their raise or in their base price, whatever, etc. If I'm already paying $15,000 more for the same truck, what do you think Ram is gonna now charge us if they give every employee a 40% raise? They're gonna be unobtainable. You will not be able to buy anything new anymore if they give them those raises. Now again, I don't blame them for wanting the raises, but where do you think that money is gonna come from? It's gonna come from Ram turning around being like, well, just up the prices again. And that CEO of GM who made $30 million or got a $30 million bonus, etc., even if I became the general manager of GM or the CEO and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give all $30 million away, I looked it up. GM employs 167,000 employees. What's $30 million divided by 167,000? That's right, $187.50 for each employee. Wow. 1 month cell phone bill that got paid. That is not going to cut it. And again, it's not going to cut it to keep raising the prices of the things that you guys manufacture when people like me cannot afford a brand new one because it's already $15,000 more than this thing. And when you pile on the fact that interest rates are 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%, I don't want to buy a brand new one. And the leases are done. I've checked with a few dealerships. A lease on a brand new one, whether you're purchasing or leasing, they're the exact same. So you're not getting any discounts that I've talked about before by trying to lease something and save some money. It's not gonna happen. So we are just generally continuing to screw ourselves because inflation is high, employees want more money, well then the inflation is gonna go up more to pay for that increase of those employees, and it's just gonna basically keep going up over here and then up over here. It's never going to end. So I don't know what the solution is except for the government to step in and actually do something and to stop this from happening. It's just absolutely ridiculous that basically people like me, again, who have some money, have a decent job, I can get a new vehicle if I wanted to, but I don't want to spend that money because it's absolutely insane to pay $15,000 more for the same damn thing, and it's just absolutely ridiculous what's going on. Now, ending that little rant there, back to the truck. So the 2500 Hemi, again, this thing only has about 14,000 pounds of towing. If we step up to the 410 rear, we're up to about 17,000, still not great. We're gonna kill our gas mileage. The 3500, if we were to find a used one in a 35, its actual towing, it actually is about 100 pounds less than the 2500. But if you look at the 6.4 Hemi, the 3500s actually tow less, but they have a little bit more payload. And I know you guys have heard me talk about payload before, but every manufacturer must put a payload rating on every single vehicle. And this one happens to be 3,163 pounds, which is a lot. I am quite impressed for how much this thing can actually carry. So the payload is everything in the bed of the truck, camping gear, all of your kids, your wife, and everything else that you can think of. That's what that 3,100 pounds is. And then if you put on a gooseneck or a fifth wheel, or you're actually towing a trailer, any weight that's pushing down on the truck, that deducts from that. So if you've got a gooseneck or something that's pushing down 1,000 or 2,000 pounds, then you just lost 1,000 or 2,000 pounds of your payload. So you have to watch out for that number. Well, the 3,500s add just a little bit of payload, but they actually do not tow anymore. They actually tow 100 to 200 pounds less than the 6.4, if in the 6.4 Hemi. So I have been looking at some 6.7 Cummins diesels. Well, they tow pretty impressive, and they're up to like 19 to 20,000 pounds. So that's awesome. Now we don't have to worry about the towing capacity anymore with a trailer and 2 cars. So that's awesome. The gas mileage is not going to be that great. I mean, it is a turbo diesel engine, but the payload capacity actually drops because a Cummins inline 6 turbo diesel engine weighs, I think, around 1,000 pounds. I don't know how much the 6.4 Hemi weighs, but I would probably guess no more than 500. Well, unfortunately, that's just not gonna cut it because I don't wanna be able to only go pick up like 2,500 pounds of weight, or actually, I'm sorry, like 2,100 pounds. It drops the payload almost 1,000 pounds to get a 2,500 in a 6.7 turbo diesel. So the 21 is not that great. I mean, that's less than like a Ford F-150. The towing is great because it goes up to almost 20,000 pounds. So it's basically what's more important, payload or towing. So I'm still deciding on that. And the biggest downfall that I've seen, unfortunately, with the 25, the 35, they've got the 68 RFE transmission, and basically everyone agrees that transmission is junk. They're not gonna last even 100,000 miles. They've got a clutch pack in them that if the thing ever overheats, you'll burn the clutch pack out, and then you've got to replace it inside of the transmission. And I don't know if that will destroy any of the gears or synchros in the transmission. So that kind of sucks for that 68 RFE transmission. So it looks like the general consensus is if you want to stick with Ram and you want a transmission that's going to last and you want that 6.7 Cummins, you have to step up to the 3,500, but you have to step up to the high output turbo diesel that comes with the Allison transmission. And that's basically the only way to go. So I obviously cannot afford that brand new. You're looking at a 3,500 with a high output in that transmission. You're looking at $90,000 to $100,000 of truck right now. I am not paying for that. I could probably maybe afford it, but I'm not going to. That would just be absolutely insane. It's freaking $25,000 more than my freaking Camaro, and I'm not affording 2 very expensive car payments. So we're definitely looking in the used department right now. I'm trying to look at every option. I'm trying to look at if we want to go with a just a regular cab, a crew cab, mega cab, whatever the cheapest is. Single tire in the rear, or maybe even a dually. I'm just trying to find what is the absolute cheapest price that we can get something that's gonna last, that will be able to do what we need to do. Again, 2 cars plus a really heavy trailer. Probably gonna step up to a gooseneck trailer because I really don't want to tow behind. The goosenecks are just better, they're safer, etc. They got better turn radius because we're already gonna get a really, really long trailer. But fingers crossed, I've got 7 months to figure it out. Again, I do love this truck. I am sad to see it go. I love the way that I've made it look. I've got the 35s on here. I've got the powder coated 3,500 wheels on it. We got all of the night badging. I painted the front and rear bumpers to make it look better. I never did get around to painting this chrome, but it basically does look like a sport or night package, except for the headlights. But I'm just looking to upgrade. There is a lot of equity in my truck because obviously everything's so expensive right now. And even this guy right here, brand new, I think this thing is almost $60,000 in the form that it sits in. And I think my exact build sticker price was only about $46,000. So $6,000 more than the base price of options that were put on this truck. But that's just insane. You're paying like $60,000 now for the same thing when my sticker price was only $46,000. So used it's gonna have to be, but I don't know. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Who out there has a Ram? Who out there has the 68 transmission that hasn't blown up or blown out those clutch packs? I know heating is the worst thing for those, so some people put on bigger transmission pans. Some people get rid of the, it's got a thermostat switch in it, so the fluid can go from the transmission up to a front mount cooler and then back. But if that thermostat switch gets dirty and clogged, the fluid can't go up to the front cooler. So again, transmission overheats. Most people don't want to take their 2,500 Cummins turbo diesels over like 12 or 15,000 pounds, even though it can tow all the way up to 20. But let me know some real world experience if you guys have one. And again, should I be looking at the 3,500? Should I be looking at the turbo diesel high output so I get that better transmission? And you guys think that I'll like that or not? But as for my rant and everything else talking about inflation and stuff, I don't know, guys. Something has to change because this is just absolutely ridiculous. The first time that I have a good job and I want to buy toys, I literally can't because if my pay goes up, then everything else skyrocketed too. And I think that's just going to keep on happening. And we all just keep demanding more and more salary when everything else is just going to turn around and go up also. But comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about that. And until this next election, fingers crossed, something changes. But I'll see you guys next time. Take care.